ready?
Master!
Break it down.
What is going on, my people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your boy Naseem the Dream. It is finally time for the ultimate final video. I want to thank everybody for being patient during this process. It is grueling at times. There is a lot of effort that has to be put into these videos, which I really do put in. So if you're watching this, I really do appreciate it, as it is antagonizing to make these lists, as there are a lot of albums that came out this year that I really did enjoy. And on top of that, making a top 50 list is daunting. But I'm not going to be going through all of my top 50. I'm only going to be going through the top 25. But you can check in the description for my 50 through 26 rankings if you are curious about those. The links for those albums will be linked in the description, as well as the remaining 25 and up albums I'm going to be listing. Here is the top 25 albums of 2024. We're going to be giving the number 25 spot to a very awesome post-punk and noise rock band that is Chat Pile with their album Cool World. And then for the 24th spot is a very endearing rock record from Mount Eerie, Night Palace. Really great ideas on here. I really enjoyed what Mount Eerie put together on here. With 23, one of my favorites out right now in electronica, Floating Points with Cascade. Very cohesive record and just well designed and very clean and vivid. With 22, one that I finally checked out, took me way too long to find and listen to this, Death's Dynamic Shroud, You Like Music, stellar sound design. With 21, one of the best hip-hop records to come out this year from one of the best hip-hop rappers and artists, JPEGMAFIA with I Lay Down My Life For You. 20 has to be a widely favored album that came out with electropop in here, which I'm so happy to see that so many people enjoyed it. It is Magdalena Bay's Imaginal Disc. 19, a very significant, important, and beautifully made protest record for the war in Gaza, Godspeed, You Black Emperors. No title as of 13 February 2024. 28,340 dead. 18, a record that I enjoyed the moment it came out very early into the year, that is Chelsea Wolfe with her record She Reaches Out to She Reaches Out to She. And then we have 17, a spot that might shock the majority of the mainstream audience on here, Kendrick Lamar's GNX. I really do enjoy this record a lot. As I mentioned in my review for that, I really do like it more when Kendrick takes a little bit more of an abstract, more slowly cooked process with his records. But regarding everything that happened with the beef and this being a result of an LP, especially a love letter to West Coast hip hop, it's awesome. It rules. And then 16 is going to go to Remy Wolf with Big Ideas. The girl is so insanely talented when in the studio. She just, like, her on top of her layers and her own self harmonizations and her own records are just so mesmerizing and just very alluring. Great artist. And then with 15, one of my favorites of all time, rock legend Brittany Howard with What Now. With 14, another rock legend with a beautiful, amazing, rock solid record, St. Vincent, All Born Screaming. And then 13 is a very amazing hip-hop record that I recommend to many of the old heads, R.I.P. to Ka with his record The Thief Next to Jesus. With 12, what I initially thought was gonna be my hip-hop album of the year until I went through the entire list to see what records came out. Anderson .Paak and Knowledge's collab, NX Worries and Why Laud, just an amazing record, especially if you really adore jazz being inserted into hip-hop music. You really have to check out this one. It's a no-brainer. 11 is one that I recently checked out. I heard it would be like kind of over the top and silly, but dude, like, I really did love it for that reason alone. That is Joey Valence and Brae with No Hands. We are now in my final top 10 with the number 10 spot that is going to Erika with Casier with Still. This record is just so underrated. I feel like Erika the Casier fans really do speak volumes about this record, but I feel like most of like the critic reception is not really there. I enjoyed the hell out of this. Like, I really try to give it a very neutral entry. I truly don't understand why not enough people really do not like this record, because I think it is awesome. I really do enjoy what's going on here with this little Y2K influence, that 2000 style of R&B and pop music. There's something about it that I think Erika just really capitalizes well and just makes her own. With 9, that is going to my man, Porter Robinson with Smile. This was the perfect follow-up to Nurture, as I feel like Nurture is like getting into like that meditative like beginning stages of like finding a way out of that anxiety phase or just coming to terms with it. And then Smile feels like the full-blown years after going through that pain and trauma process and really being able to enjoy life to the fullest with the best like attributes to it. Porter Robinson has just evolved into just such an important figure into the EDM community, especially with his newest tour where he's actually performing with a band now. So the man is just, no words, one of the best talents in electronic music today. That's one that I really speak highly of, and I just feel like puts so many challenges up forth in front of him that seem impossible to an individual like this, especially how he views himself. It's always well received from the audience, as I really do feel like Porter is just a treasure. He really is. With 8, this is my hip-hop album of the year. So I was going through editing the video, and for some reason I had some kind of like encryptic error when editing this piece, and some of the footage got really messed up. It wasn't going through well. So going with Logic's Ultra 85. This is the record that I chose for my personal hip-hop album of the year, as I have been a Logic fan for the very, very longest time, ever since high school, and then the Bobby Tarantino tapes and everything. Ever since this new direction has really been doing with boom bap for the vinyl days in College Park, I've just been really enjoying that. It's definitely my type of style of hip-hop. That's the kind of vintage throwback kind of beat selection that I really, really enjoy, and especially with his little nerdy persona is something that I really do connect with the most. And with Ultra 85, he really went the farthest with it, especially with the narrations on here, with the whole like tsunami kind of effect. I really, really did like it. And yeah, the song selection and then the writing and just style overall just really, really suited Logic. And it was really a no-brainer to have this one as my hip-hop album of the year, as Logic is still one of my favorite hip-hop artists in the current game right now. With 7, one of my favorite singer-songwriter folk pieces, that is from Adrianne Lenker's Bright Future. So much beauty under all these layers, so much raw talent that with Adrianne Lenker already being one of the best front vocalists in a folk band with Big Thief, and with her solo work is something that I highly praise and I highly anticipate when a release is coming up. So when seeing this and seeing the result of it and the simplicity behind it, but also the amazing significant writing that it becomes personal to Adrianne, very vulnerable at times, it's just like a very beautiful record to really adore from an artist like this, and something that really prays to really have like the central focus to really want to come up with something that really feels also true to an artist, to what they're really trying to display. So with Adrianne, like I said, I really have so much high expectations from an artist like this. So with the result of what this record is, it really is beautiful start to finish. I think there's so many really great songs on here. Just singing performance wise is just mighty impressive. Always. It really always is. And yeah, just awesome record. With 6, one of the most controversial records I feel like that came out this year, Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. I'm a Beyonce stan. This is a personal list, okay? There's nothing correlating with scores on here. Otherwise, this would have no cohesion based off the results of what my channel has given these records, right? So me being a Beyonce stan, it really does affect this record being on this list, period, right? But I really did enjoy the way she brings on country inspirations and makes it her own. I really did like that Beyonce made it clear that this is a Beyonce album, period. And when taking that idea alone with itself and just see what she came up creatively, and that's feels authentic, especially to her roots and where she grew up and what really influenced her as an artist. It's hard to not adore as a Beyonce fan, and it's another thing that's one of those challenges that steps forth another stepping stone and mile to really show how significant of an artist this is influentially. And I feel like Beyonce continues to really show this with Cowboy Carter, as there's just so much to love on here. Beyonce always gives a grade A performance. That's always on here, and that is on here. But I just thinking about the finish of this record, and her own swips and ideas and things that are not supposed to mix, she makes it work. Always makes it work because she is Queen Bee. It's just awesome. A really, really beautiful album. Number 5 is going to Laura Marling with Patterns and Repeats. A stunning record. Record that will have me in tears, in awe, due to its beauty and just absolute pretty pattern qualities in the instrumental choices and the wonderful vocal performance, that accompanies these beautiful sounds on here. It is one of those things that you feel like you're walking through a flower garden. You smell, you hear, you taste tranquility and peace and center focus within yourself. And you know, these spiritual identities that I kind of find in with these records are what make me connect with it the most. And this was just such a beautiful centerpiece of wonderful atmospheric elements that are just so ambient, so gorgeous, so light and luscious. This is just one of those records that I feel like anybody should listen to and can listen to, because it is a soft, beautiful, delicate listen. And Laura Marling is just a force to be reckoned with. Number 4, which seems to be the unanimous record of the year, which I'm so happy to see that so many people are turned on from this album, Charli XCX's BRAT. In my perspective, I feel like this was the record that finally gave the vast majority of the audience, the people that, you know, kind of listen to pop music, do listen to pop music, but not necessarily a very prolific listener. But this was the record that got their attention. This was the record that made them feel like, yeah, Charli is something else. You know, they have always heard their hits that came out from the records, but I feel like not too many people are really actually paying attention to the music. But I feel like this was the album that got people to pay attention to Charli XCX to the point where the Grammys had no choice but to finally give this album, an album that was already deserves so much in their past discog, a nomination for Record of the Year. And truthfully, one that I think should win Record of the Year because of all that it achieved. I mean, how much can I really go about with the detail and presentation and the writing from Charli XCX in this album? Personable, it's relatable, it's vulnerable, but at the same time, it fucking rules. Every aspect it is trying to portray, it is outstanding. Amazing album. I understand why it is so many people's number 1 album, because it deserves it. Charli XCX, BRAT Summer 2024. I am hoping she gets the dub. Number 3, best hardcore album I've heard in a long, long time. Knocked Loose, You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to. Evil, eerie, sharp, bloody, dark, disgusting, vengeful, merciless, brute, and vengeful album in hardcore is just so amazing and awesome to finally see people recognize. And you know, there's still people that really don't really enjoy the sound of Brian Garris. You know, to each his own. I respect your opinion. I personally think that he is one of the better vocalists to really come out of the genre, and he really shows it here. There are great features on here on Together, especially with Poppy finally giving a great performance on Suffocate. I just love the horror elements to this. Crushes the competition. Knock Loose rules, bitch. Number 2, the most shocking record I heard all year, as I just did not believe that this artist would ever come out with a record nearly this high on my personal top album list. That's Willow's Empathogen. I cannot get over the vision that Willow had to create this album. Not only that, the execution itself, I cannot believe what was really put down, what I was hearing, the improvement, the risk, the attention to detail, sequence to sequence for so many of these great songs, catchy moments, beautiful moments, elegant moments with the instrumental choices, really authentic song ideas. You know, even with the records that come before, whatever song ideas that she has after this, it might be sticking to the same agenda or totally something different in sound style. Whatever it is, please keep doing whatever you want to do. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to end off the Ntd Awards, the #1 album of 2024. Another early decision that I made that I felt so strongly that always stayed at my #1. It's just so fancy feeling, and I just love the direction that these girls are going in. They get a lot of hate for being called Nepo babies, and I just don't think that has any correlation with how good the music is. The music is outstanding. It is so my style. English, elegant, gay, beautiful pop music is just so delicious. Too much that I love. This feels like the most cinematic one to me. There's a lot of ones that I really feel like I'm watching some kind of like indie movie, but this is the one that I feel like was like my movie of the year type of feel. Every time I played through this, it really felt like an event. This is what I really like when I hear the progression of an album. Hearing these certain intros and these interlude breaks and then these build-ups to bring on to the next song. And I think that was what really won me over for this album, just the way that they kind of paid attention and figured out how to build up tension and with different breaks into the songs that were really switching up at certain points, with the writing aspect where they're talking about feminism and then female growth, and then with love and lust and a whole bunch of other stuff. It really did connect with me. This was a record that I just really stuck with for the longest time ever since it was released. The rhythmic choices on Sinner, the feminine urge is a blast of an anthem. Seeing this whole album performed live in front of me just elevated that experience even more and confirmed that this should be my #1 record. It was the one I enjoyed the most. It's the one that made me feel the most, exert the most emotion and energy and all of the above, and just had the most fulfillment when completing a record. Please check it out if you haven't. Guys, that is my top 50 albums of the year. Let me know if any of the ones that you really liked made this list. What was your album of the year? If any of the albums that you really liked didn't make this list, please let me know in the comments. I would love to check them out if you think I should. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all your support this year. It means the world to me. I hope we have even better 2025. I'm gonna really do my best to make these videos even better and more enjoyable. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all your love and support. Please subscribe and like the video to help support the channel. You guys are the best. I'll see you for the next year. Deuces.